Okay, so I'm going to show you two different ways to put a histogram into Excel. One of them where you are deciding where the bins start and end, and you're deciding the bin width and all of that. And another way, Excel is doing most of the work for you. So I'm going to show you the first way. This is my preferred way. This is not the way the instructions of the lab showed, but it is okay to do it this way. So my raw data is the average position, different drivers finished in NASCAR. It was just some random data that I found. So I'm going to just highlight all of my raw data. So I'm just going to click on that, highlight all of it, and I'm going to insert and go right here is where histograms are. Well, let me see here, a histogram, and it just defaulted to 4 bins and it made them 10 wide, and I don't like that. I want it to be different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click down here, and I'm going to see where I right clicked right down here where these numbers are, and I'm going to click on Format Axis. So when I do that, I can change my number of bins. Let's say I want 10 bins, and I can change that, and it will give me 10 bins, and it made it go off the side of my screen, but it gave me 10 bins. Let's say instead of 10 bins, what I want to change is my bin width. Let's say I want my bin width to be 5. So when I do that, it's going to change my number of bins, and it's going to start at 3 and go up to 8. It automatically starts with your lower number, and then each of your bins are 5. And then I can put in my chart titles here. So average finish for NASCAR drivers, and make sure that if you're doing this that you are also adding chart elements. So you can do that. Let me see here, for some reason it's not working. Sorry. Over here, clicking on this X, I can add axis titles. We need to make sure we have axis titles. So this would be finish position. And this right here would be frequency. Make sure you put those labels in there. There's other things you can do. You can change your colors. You can change your style of different things. I can change to pretty colors. I mean, there's all sorts of things you can do to make it pretty. I'm going to change it to red. I'm going to change these to red. Well, it's not doing it. But anyway, there's all sorts of things that you can do to make it prettier or make it your own. But that is one style of histogram. So using the method shown on the other video, what I did was I decided how big my limit was. I decided that my interval width was 4, and since this is continuous data, that one had integer answers on each end. Mine has decimals, which I'm thinking that's what the problem is with the one you're looking at. So using these decimals, so what I did was I made this bin right here go from 1 to 4.99 and 5 to 9.99. And so each of the lower limits is going up by 4. And then what I did was I counted how many were in each of these ranges. And choosing 4 was just a random number that gave me a nice number of bins. I chose a nice number for the bottom. You do not have to choose your lowest data point. Figured someone can't finish in 0 place, but someone can finish in 1st place. So I started with 1st place. And I said 1st place up to 4.99th place, 5th place up to 9.99. So I just picked a happy number, a number that worked really well, that was slightly lower than my lowest value. And I made sure that my highest bin goes slightly higher than my highest value. So you keep creating bins until until you are slightly above your highest value and slightly below your lowest value. And I counted how frequently or how many of them were in each bin. So this is my frequency. So now I'm just going to highlight both of those, the upper limit and the frequency. You do not need to highlight the lower limit. highlight the upper limit and the frequency, and I'm going to insert, go to recommended charts, and I'm going to choose this bar graph right here, this clustered column. And it looks like this. This is not quite a histogram. Because this is a range of values and not just at 9.99. We know it's a range of values. We need to make sure that all of our columns touch each other. So I'm going to quick layout here, and see this one right here? This makes it look like a histogram. See how nice and pretty that looks? They're all right up against each other, so I can see where each bin is. You can make them a little bit prettier. There's ways that you can format make an outline. I could outline each one of them so you can see a little bit better. There's many, many ways that you can customize this. So once again, my chart title, position, finished, average, finish in NASCAR, and then over here is frequency, and then down here would be average, finish. So hopefully that made sense to you. Hopefully you understood that. Once again, you can play with this and you can change your colors. I can make that nice orange. You can do all sorts of different things to play with it and make it your own. Hopefully that made sense. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.